I'm Alan Weiss, and this is The Writing on the Wall. Welcome back to The Writing on the Wall. This episode is called Test Me. One of my grandchildren, when she was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years old, or used to say to me, test me, and that's what I would do. And I would ask her questions. It might have been history or geography, whatever she was into. She was into novels and things like this. And occasionally, she would tell me I was wrong. And I said, what are you talking about? And so she was testing me, and she said, what president's cabinet was nearly blown up by a cannon? I said, that's never happened. She runs inside, gets this book, and she shows me, James Tyler's cabinet was nearly blown up by a faulty cannon. Well, it was a mutual learning experience, this testing we did. It was a clever game. Probably the next thing I'll have to test about is teaching how to drive my car, I would think. They're 15 now, going on 42. Universities have returned to standardized testing. This was shunned, it was unfair, and now they think it's actually an advantage to disadvantaged youth. It's an advantage to disadvantaged youth because it shows what they can really do. And the test is supposed to wash away differences in experience and backgrounds and so forth. So universities are returning to it. It's entirely digital as I understand it. You can't look on somebody else's paper. But what are tests? They're metrics that measure accomplishment, measure learning, measure performance, whatever it is. If you can't add a column of numbers or find the area of a rug, you don't know math. I don't care if you've taken math. I don't care if you can do a few things with numbers, but you don't know math if you can't add and subtract and divide. It's as simple as that. If you don't know the significance of Louis XIV, well, then you don't know history. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was a freshman at Rutgers, we had a course called Western Civ. Imagine today a course called Western Civilization. And the guy across from me says, we're studying French history. He says, I'm going to drop this course. I said, why? He said, well, France had 4 kings at once. How do I remember that? So what are you talking about? They only had 1 king. He said, no. There was Louis XIV, Louis XIV, the Sun King, and Le Roi Soleil. 4 kings. I said, maybe you'd better drop the course. Prospective doctors have to know biology and anatomy, one would hope. And so that's a requirement for being a physician. Lawyers have to pass a bar exam. If you send kids to higher education unprepared for it, you're going to make their lives worse. So testing does everyone a favor. Without a test, you can't drive a car, can't get a license. You can't scuba dive, you can't get a certificate. You can't be an electrician or a plumber, and so forth and so on. Of course, there's no test to vote. If you're a citizen and of age and you can prove it, there is no test to vote. I'm beginning to wonder about that.